Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Hello.
Now only I can, because before I couldn't. Yeah.
Madam, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm there.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Madam, namaskara, Lakshmi madam.
Good morning, sir. Ma'am, students are joining only.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can start after 5 minutes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Today they have the option, they can unmute and they can interact towards the end.
Yeah, let everyone join Lakshmi. We will give the instruction.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
But I think they are all cooperative students
Yes,
and parents. You can keep them that option anytime that they can unmute and ask the question. That is not a problem.
Yes, sir. Today, no, they can have that option, sir. It is activated.
Yeah, keep it. See, we will make it little more interactive.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will tell them to keep writing the questions and ask at the end. That is also fine.
Yeah.
Because
ma'am, you can just announce, ma'am.
Yes, I will announce.
Sir, YouTube channel also, it is coming live only, 3-day session.
I just saw. See, whatever we are talking is also on YouTube now.
Yes.
It is already live on YouTube.
I request all the students to tell your friends to join at the earliest. We will start so that we will have some time for question and answers and all. Today the program will be very interesting, so a lot of interaction will happen. Sir, shall we start? Let them join.
Yes, madam, we can start.
Yes, sir. Okay. Good morning, one and all present here. We welcome you to the second day of our workshop. And yesterday we got a very good feedback from the students that saying that it was very informative. Okay. Today it will be more of what you are going to learn today or hear today, see today will be helping you for hands-on training. Okay. So maybe you may have a lot of questions to ask. You can reserve your questions for the end. You can put it in the chat box, and also you can unmute and interact with Dr. Rajendra Hegde sir. Okay. So I also welcome the parents. You were also very cooperative, and yesterday I spoke to 2-3 students. They said the parents were also very much interested and they were with them. Not only one parent, 2 parents were also sitting with them and listening to the yesterday's webinar session, workshop session. So today it will be very, very interactive, and also more of information you will get how to start your garden. With this small introduction, I welcome sir to take over the session for today. Welcome.
Thank you, madam. Thank you once again to the Mount Carmel College, the Home Science department, and all the colleagues there for this opportunity. And it is a learning opportunity for all of us, especially for the students of Home Science. So as you said, madam, Today it is more of practices. But yesterday I spent little more time on the principles or the purposes, so that the students and the parents understand the better that what is the expectation out of urban gardening, or we should not call it as farming. So we are not farmers once again. Anyway, so let us straightforward move to the presentation today. Hope this presentation is visible, madam, the other side.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us move to the practices of urban foodscapes. See, practices, whether it is in the farmer's field, whether it is in the container, whether it is in the kitchen garden, whether it is in the balcony garden. So the general principles and general practices remain the same. Only thing is that we have to make some adjustments. So that we will try to understand today, so that probably we can form a project. We can do some practice, and we can learn to grow some food crops in our small spaces. So that's where. So yesterday we have understood that we don't have that much of space. So for us, it is only container gardening. So we are not farmers. We are not going to practice like farmers. So our expectation is always less. Based on these assumptions, let us move on. So it is more of container gardening. So other things are also there. Probably if you have some space at the front or the back, and if it is not tied. So if there are any issues that we will discuss in the later stage. So I have tried to answer many of your questions. So it will be there, not necessarily that you have to suddenly bring in all these questions, or today or tomorrow it will be there. It will be answered. Madam also said, I request all of you to probably jot it down, and you can ask these specific questions at the end. Not necessarily that it has to be very, what is that, a practical question or something like that. Even a basic question is fine. So we are here to understand and solve the problem, and start growing our own food. So somewhere, see, that's what I just put it. You need to start somewhere. So unless and until you start, you cannot learn. This is not a big science basically. So it is more of practice and practical, and we will make mistakes. It is fine. So we will learn in the process. So many things. See, a climber, if it is climbing, so if it is falling, and you will understand that I have to give some support, so that, especially for the science students, those who are born and brought up in cities also. So it is simple logic that I have to give it some kind of support. So it is by nature climber, or it is by nature crawler. So all those things that we will try to understand. But your involvement, whether you are an youngster, whether you are an elderly, whether you are a children, so your involvement in the process is very important. So that way that your learning is always better, and probably you will become or move towards becoming a successful gardener. So here we stopped yesterday. So when we think of setting up the gardens, probably many of you can quickly understand, being the students of science and the urbanites. So, but still, wait on my terrace. So this is very frequently asked question for us as facilitators. So should it become very heavy on my terrace, sir? So just imagine that all our houses built with the engineering principles, whether it is an apartment, whether it is an independent house, whether it is a school building, whether it is an office building, whatever may be the case, that if they are built with the principles of structure, principles of construction, so they can sustain some weight. So it is set. So you can also, probably some of you may be engineers there. So you can also probably knowing, or I have learned from the civil engineers or the people who are into construction activity, that a square meter of the concrete terrace can sustain about 200 to 250 kgs of weight. 200 kgs, let us see, on the lower side. And our garden weight will not be more than 65 or 70 kgs. If you are growing papaya, I am telling. If you are growing banana, I am telling. So tomato and other things per square meter may be 20 kgs. So where is 20 kg? Where is 200 kg? So if you think that it will be heavy on your terrace, probably you are not believing in that construction science. So somewhere, so all our houses are built with all this. I'm not telling about the kacha houses, what we see in the villages with only bamboos, maybe some kadpa tiles and other things on the top, or sometimes only on maybe the mud cover. So that is not correct. So somewhere somehow that all our houses set can sustain weight, and we can all use our maybe the terrace gardens or the balconies, kitchen garden anyway not a problem. So that way, so weight is not an issue. Somewhere somehow if we have a reservation, so shed out of that, come out of that reservation. Probably you can keep some pots without any problem. So we will understand how can we design that, we will understand, but weight is not an issue. Similarly, people ask water leakage, whether if I start gardening, it leads to leakage. So I was told by someone that if we keep the pots continuously on the floor, on the terrace floor, so there could be some leakage. So it is again, just imagine, just probably put your logics. There are so many houses, there are so many buildings which are leaking, and go and check on the terrace. Not even a single plant is there. Then how can you relate gardening or the containers, container gardening for leakage? It is something to do with structure. We have to understand that how can we solve that problem before starting the gardening. That is always there. But on the other hand, in the previous rainy season, if your terrace has not leaked, just because that you start gardening, it will not leak. That means that it is properly done, the waterproofing or the during construction, the curing happened nicely. So there should not be any problem. So if you have any reservation to keep directly on the floor, you can keep on the stand. So even with the stand, your weight will not be more than 45-50 kgs per square meter. So it can still sustain. Of course, plan. See, I will try to show some of these pictures today. So that way, water leakage is something to do with structure, nothing to do with gardening. That point that you have to make, and tomorrow morning you can start keeping this one. So come out of these reservations that if you have. Then the soil or the growing medium. This is again a very common question, sir. Should I use the cow dung, buffalo dung, goat pellets, sheep pellets, horse dung, anything? See, we are not scientists. For a scientist, it may be different. Maybe so he will analyze all these nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and many other nutrients in different type of animal dungs, and he will publish a paper. We are not scientists. We are just practitioners. So for us, whatever is available in nearby. So if somebody says that if you put sheep pellet, if you put goat pellets, that it will be very practical and it will probably your plants grow nicely. You should not be going 25-30 kilometers to get a bag of or a sack of goat pellets. Not correct. So whatever is available nearby, of course, we will try to understand home composting and all those things, but it's a nearby nursery, or maybe the person who is supplying milk to you. So he may be having some cows. So tell him that get me some cow dung or cow dung cakes, whatever may be the case. Only thing is it should not be fresh. See, at least the cow dung manure or any other animal manure has to be composted properly. So composting is a process that we will try to learn. So that way, see, growing medium is any animal manure except human. Human, cat, and dog. We are not adding in this composting process. So otherwise, many other animal manures can be used, at least from our household, or maybe cow, buffalo, sheep, goat, horses. They are all fine, no problem. So whatever is available. So that way that you have to put that logic. Say, I should not be searching for this. These are all same. I have to give this, and I have to love my plants, and plants will perform. Only thing is that, of course, I have this point again. So more of compost, less of soil. That principle you keep it in mind. It is not more soil, a handful of compost. That is not correct in container gardening. Container gardening, as I was telling you, that it is an artificial situation. We have to give nutrients more little bit of soil. That we'll see. Then what happens when it rains? This also is, I tried growing, sir, on my terrace. Suddenly it rained and nothing is there, all fallen and all dead. What happens when it rains in the farmer's field? See, this year we are seeing, maybe of course here in South Karnataka as well as in North Karnataka, there are so many this one fields flooded. People lost their livelihood. See, in our case, as I was telling you, we are not farmers. It's probably because of these accidents that sometimes that you may lose some crops or some plants. It's okay. On the other hand, no, sir, I want to construct a poly house. I want to cover the terrace with a polythene sheet. That is called high-tech horticulture. High-tech horticulture, somewhere, somehow, we are missing out on the principles of urban gardening. It is not that to invest too much high-tech, to construct a poly house, you may need 3-4 lakh rupees. So that is not the purpose. We want to use simple techniques and use the natural light, maybe rainwater, whatever may be the case. So all these kind of things that we want to use and grow something in our small spaces. High-tech horticulture, we can learn, especially the students of home science, that you can learn high-tech horticulture and you can become an entrepreneur in the later stage. But first try to learn the basics. Once you are graduated, so then slowly that you can think of high-tech horticulture or polyhouse cultivation. All these things are possible. See, that will come maybe another 10-15 years. So people will innovate ideas and probably bring out new systems in urban gardening. Similarly, too much of sunny during summer. Sir, should we have a shade net? So April, May, or March, April, May, to some extent maybe part of June. So the temperature is so high. So whether you, by putting a shade net, so whether it will be helpful. So there is a difference between light and temperature, or the direct sunlight and temperature. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಿಸಿಲು ಬೆಳಕು. So plants need light. So all the plants except some maybe shade loving. So we will also try to understand that. So some of these plants, there may be little variation, but more the light, more the direct sunlight, better is the growth. So by putting a shade net, if you are creating shade, the plants won't perform. Your tomato plant, supposed to be a bushy plant, will become an vine. So that is not correct. So direct sunlight should fall uniformly on all parts of the plant, so that it grows as a bushy plant and produce many branches, many fruits. So that way you need to think that shade net is not a must. But we will see. I will show you some of these pictures as we move on. If you are putting net, what kind of net that we should put in our terrace garden. Balconies, sometimes, yes, the birds are coming. So you want to have a bird net, that is fine. Whether terrace gardening profitable, yesterday we have discussed. Profit is perception. So just imagine that you have created a garden for our elderly parents or grandparents to spend their time. That how can you write the profit in the book? So it is an opportunity. See, today we are setting it up as a project site for learning. How much that you write it as a profit? So we start thinking in that angle. See, I have spent 1,000 rupees. What I have harvested is 500 rupees worth. I have lost 500 rupees in my terrace garden. There are so many other advantages that we have seen yesterday. So gardening, that you have to look at in that angle, that there are plenty profits. I should have garden and I should have some kind of self-sufficiency or the nutrition supplements from my garden. So that way, think of these general questions that if you have, probably I think that I have answered many of these questions. So let us move on real practices now. To start with, what generally people ask, sir, I want to start. Where are these seeds? There are many seeds. See, this is one disadvantages of this online session, online workshop. I am not in a position to give you the seeds so that you can just see. Many of you would not have seen. We are not farmers. See, we have eaten tomato. We have not seen the tomato seed or tomato plant. Tomato seed we would have seen, because we, after cutting that, you will see the seed. Tomato plants, many of us would not have seen that. It is not wrong also. Onion, how many of us have seen onion seeds? So like that, see radish, for example, see radish, we are always eating tubers. How many of us have seen radish seeds, cabbage seeds, cauliflower seeds, norcol seeds, broccoli seeds? So we have seen broccoli or we have eaten broccoli, but we have not seen because that we did not get an opportunity. But this gardening workshop, if it is done on a real basis, not like this, not virtual, so there is an opportunity for me also. I cannot show it because they are too tiny seeds. Anyway, whatever may be the case, see, what I'm trying to tell is that seeds to start with. Somewhere you have to plant. These are all the seeds that I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There may be 50s of plants that I may be showing, but you select out. These are all the plants that I want to grow. We like. I want a bundle of coriander every week. I want a bundle of palak every week. I want to harvest maybe half kg of tomato every week. That is what we need in our house. Or maybe maybe 50 grams or 100 grams of chili every week. So it is just a issue of planning. So that selection has to happen from your end. So you should decide that what are those 10 crops that I am trying to grow. Not everything what you see in the market. So we see hundreds of vegetables. That is not the purpose. So that is not possible also. We have small space. It is not an experiment on a daily basis. Of course, if you are doing a project, fine, no problem. But otherwise, so you have to look at that what those 10 crops that I want to grow. So I have only this much of space. So that way, think of planning all these things. Only thing is when it comes to seeds, 1 or 2 questions generally we get, sir, I have tried getting some of these seeds. See, I think you can see, see, these are all treated seeds. See, like this. The treated seeds, the red, the green, the purple or blue, something like this. See, these are all treated seeds. So why I am telling is, see, sometimes that we want to avoid these treated seeds as much as possible. We want to get the local seeds which are untreated, especially when you are growing the microgreens. Probably Dr. Sapna is there, and she can take a session for you, or I will also maybe 1 or 2 sites that I have. We need untreated seeds, especially when we are doing leafy vegetables, because their lifespan is very less. During that time, if you say that the residue level is reduced, it will not be true. We don't want to eat the toxic chemicals which are used in this treatment, and they are highly toxic. So that way you have to look at that untreated seed. Once you get the seed, especially the varieties, not hybrids, so you can have your own seed. This picture is for that purpose. So think of leaving 1 or 2 fruits on the plant, especially the first fruit is for God. So I am repeating, first fruit is for God. God for what? So for seeds purpose. So mark it, don't harvest it, let it mature completely on the ripen completely on the plant. So then collect the fruit. So cases of tomato, probably you may have to cut it, you may have to wash it, because tomato has mucilage. So you may have to wash it in running water in a strainer, or you can slowly make juice and use that juice for something else, and strain it and collect the seed, wash it in running water, spread it on maybe a tissue paper or in white cloth. So dry it for 3-4 days till it becomes loose. Then you have to do seed selection. Seed selection is the big, the bold seeds are the good seeds, not the one, or otherwise sometimes we can put it in water. The ones which float, they are not good seeds. The ones which sink, that we have to select. Again, you have to dry it. Otherwise, simply, probably you can also make it by visually. This is a broken seed. No, not good. This is very small compared to others. Not good. Just no emotions. So think of seed selection. So that way, so if you can start from a natty variety, you can have your own seed for generations to come. You can become a seed saver. You can develop a seed bank. There are so many people in Bengaluru who have started growing, and they have a seed bank. They are sharing with others, and for them they are self-sufficient. There are so many people. So that way, look at, see, I don't know, I have just put, see, what is this seed in the at the bottom. Specifically, I have put many of maybe knowing they are radish, the radish pods. So without harvesting, without pulling out the radish, if you allow it to grow, the plant enjoys, plant grows. Of course, during that plant protection and other things are there that we will discuss. And once it produce flower, once it produce pods, harvest, dry it, probably automatically it opens. Otherwise, you may have to break it. So some of these seeds are dry seeds. The beans is a dry seed. Ridge gourd is a dry seed. Chili is a dry seed. Bendi is a dry seed. So automatically it opens, or suddenly it opens and it will all come. You have to follow the seed selection procedure. That is very important. So many times that we mix up and we just put it and say that, sir, out of 100 I just got only 30 40 seedlings, or only 10. The seeds were not good. So you have not followed the process of seed production. You have not selected them. So all those things are very important for learning exercise. If you are otherwise, every time there are people who are supplying seeds, don't worry about all these things. Go and get it. There maybe packets and 10 rupees packet, that is more than sufficient. If you get 10 15 seeds of rich gourd, so you can use it for 2 3 months. We don't need kgs of rich gourd. What we need is 5 seeds or maybe 10 seeds per month. So that is the planning that we will see. So that way, so small quantity we want to purchase, sir. We don't want to get into all this seed production, washing, drying, seed selection and other things. Very good decision. For urbanites who don't, we shouldn't become scientists. We want to become practitioners. Of course, good source of seeds that we will check. If it is not germinating, we will complain. All those things are there. But see, think of, there are especially nati seeds. I suggest that we should go for only nati, because nati has evolved. Nati is local, evolved in this kind of environment. I have just put one slide which can suggest you the type of beans seeds. There are so many types of seeds like that. If you think of tomato, hundreds of varieties of tomato. Only thing is that you have to be a little more patient and talk to those farmers, talk to those people who are growing, enjoy that process. Ask them 2 seeds, 3 seeds, bring it, plant it, probably get one tomato fruit, make some more seeds and share it with people. So that way, local varieties I am telling, because that they have evolved in this environment, and they know which time of the year insects come, which time of the year diseases come. During that time, what adjustment that I should make so that I can sustain their damage, I can tolerate their damage. So because of that reason, the nati varieties are very important. We should think of encouraging organic farming. If by definition organic farming is to promote nativity, we should think of native seeds, local seeds. See, somebody coming from USA and he has seen, or you had also gone to some other countries. There are restrictions, but somehow we try to bring very good broccoli seeds I have brought from USA. How to grow it? That is evolved in that kind of environment. See, suddenly if you are bringing and growing in Bangalore, you have to create that environment. Maybe a shade house, very high enriched nutrient medium, regular monitoring for the insect pests and diseases, because otherwise our local insects, that something new, they will just go and attack and eat. So they do not know how to sustain this insect damage. So that way they think of using the nati local seeds for this one. See, when it comes to seeds in urban gardening, they are not hybrids. There is no rule that hybrids cannot be used or should not be used. But my suggestion is that you think of using the local nati varieties, so that they respond well to our way of cultivation. We are using organic compost, we are using home compost and other things. So if we are using hybrids, they need high inputs. Yesterday I was telling you. So that is what happened with the green revolution. So by nature, they need high inputs. You may have to use the compost on a regular basis. Every day you may have to give. So all these things are there. So that way that we need to look at it. Then coming to the seedlings. So that way here, I have put some of these pictures. But for better explanation, I don't know whether that it will come. So I have just tried to give the YouTube link so that you can understand better about seeds and seedlings. Let me just check.
Sir, no audio, sir.
What, madam? Audio is not coming?
No audio, sir. Yeah, audio is not coming.
I see the pictures. Let me see. At least see the pictures. See why I used this one is that probably it is little more practical to understand. See, for raising the seedlings, this kind of seedling trays that you can think of seedling trays, not necessarily this kind of trays that you can use coffee cups, paper cups, tea cups, anything, maybe a milk cover or something like that. All those things that you can use without any problem. Just see, I suggest, or we suggest, that for this trays it is better to use the cocoa peat. See in this picture. See, the bigger one is for growing maybe ridge gourd, bitter gourd, watermelon, ash gourd. So for those kind of seeds, if you want to have, then you need to keep this tray is not sufficient. You need deeper and wider trays. That kind of trays are also available. Otherwise, milk packet, for example. See, half-liter milk packet or 1 liter milk packet that you can use for raising the seedlings. See here in this picture. So I have tried to show that we have to use cocoa peat because cocoa peat is soft. Cocoa peat can hold moisture for some time. So for that reason, so think of using cocoa peat better. So you can use vermicompost, you can use normal compost, or you can use all the mixture of the compost and soil that probably I will show you. See, all these things can be used, but cocoa peat is better because it is soft and it can hold moisture for some time. Otherwise, you have to continuously keep observing for the moisture. It should not dry. Otherwise, your embryo or your seedling will dry quickly. So that way, so keep planting. See the video now. Put one seed or two seeds. So especially the tomato, chili, brinjal, cabbage, cauliflower, capsicum. So put one seed in the yeah, in the tray or in the cavity, and after putting the seeds, just press it. So not too deep because they are very medium seeds. The actually depth of sowing is double the size of the seed. So it should not be very deep. So if you press too deep, probably by the time that it emerges out, so it will probably it will decay. So that way slowly, and probably put little bit of cocoa peat on the top, and just compact it, just press it, and you can keep it in shade, in balcony, or maybe below your water tank or solar panels, whatever is there. So initially that you can keep it in shade, keep observing. See, many of these seeds will germinate in 7-8 days time. So you will see the germination. So if it is not germinating, then you have to doubt whether the seed is good, whether the seed is not good. So whether I have sown very deep, no problem. We will learn in the process. No, there is absolutely no issues. So I just said that if you want to raise the seedlings are also available. So you can go to a nursery and get the type of seeds that you want. But we will learn. See, our idea is that we want to learn some of these basic practices of farming or gardening. So for that purpose, that we can always try to get some seeds, try to plant it or something like that. Otherwise, if you are not having that much of patience, that you can just go to a nursery and get the seedlings of your choice. That is always there. It is always there. But they are also doing the same thing. Of course, sometimes today the machines have come because they will not be planting maybe 1 or 2 trays every day. So the machines have come. But even otherwise, that the process is same. The trays or the coffee cups or the milk packets or the coconut shell, egg shell. So all these things can be used for putting the cocoa peat and one or two seeds. So if you are not sure of germination, say they are old seeds, sir, it is in my house from last 1 year, then think of putting 2 seeds. Otherwise, 1 seed is sufficient. They are all good seeds. You have only selected, or otherwise you have purchased. See, generally the companies and other things they will not cheat because you are paying that high price. So that way, think of getting. See, after 1 week or maybe after say 9-10 days, that you will have this kind of true leaves, the seedlings like microgreens. So that way, generally, see, all of them will germinate if you follow the process properly. At this stage, that you should not be keeping in shade. Otherwise, they will try moving towards light and become weak seedlings. So you should try to keep them in direct sunlight. If required, that you can put maybe a sari or a towel or something like that, so that for some time that it is protected from harsh sunlight or maybe temperature or something like that, because they are too small, too tiny seedlings. Otherwise, that you should keep it in direct sunlight, so that they can sustain and become robust or good seedlings as you move on. So this is not the time for transplanting. That's what we are trying to show there. So if you remove that, it should come with a cup of roots without any disturbance to the roots. So 10 days is not the right age for transplanting. So if you want to transplant, that you have to wait for at least 3 weeks or 3-4 weeks, so that you will see this. So this is also, of course, still tiny only, but okay, you can slowly remove and keep it for use it for transplanting. Or otherwise, after 3 weeks, it is very good without any disturbance, that it comes with the root cup. So that you can think of using after 3 or 4 weeks. So that way, so if you want to prepare your own seedlings, this is a simple method. So I'm not suggesting that you should use that this kind of tray only, not required. So whatever you have to have, or you have to give that extra care. They are very sensitive. So you have to give that extra care. So that extra care that you are taking when you are raising the seedlings. Otherwise, planting methods, I will come to that for the planting methods, but at least seeds and seedlings wherever required, that you can think of doing that. So that way, hope probably if you have any doubts, that you keep that question. Otherwise, for the vegetables like tomato, chili, brinjal, cabbage, cauliflower, norcore, capsicum. So generally we go for transplanting or raising the seedlings and transplanting. For big seeds like bendi, ash god, bitter god. So they are quite big. See, big seeds by definition, that if I say put one seed in each pot, that you can easily handle. So they are quite big. Anything above the size of bendi is a quite big seed. So anyway, planting method I will come. So there are 3 methods of seeds, or 3 types of seeds for us as practitioners, not as scientists. The small seed, maybe the seeds like amaranth and others. See, very small, tiny seeds. So see, if I say put one seed, it is not possible. Your patience will be tested. So that is not correct. So there we will be directly broadcasting. For some of these seeds which are medium size, we raise the seedlings and transplant. For some of the seeds which are quite big, that we put direct dibbling. So these things, I'll come back to that. I will show a video on planting. Again, you have to follow, if possible. Say Bangalore, we are lucky. We are growing different type of vegetables throughout the year. But by science, there is a planting calendar. See, certain vegetables perform better during some season. See, tomato is not good during rainy season. So there will be always disease. So you have to keep protecting it. So I want to grow a tomato during rainy season. So how to protect it? There is a way. The only thing is that you have to give more time. So you have to keep spraying every 5 or 7 days, because especially the organic methods that what we suggest, their persistence is very less. So they can protect your plant only for 1 week. So again, you have to spray. So that way, so if you want to take up during all the season of the year, possible. But by nature, there are some crops which are winter vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, nor they are by nature, by their inheritance, that they are the winter vegetables. So they perform better during winter vegetables. Insect incidents, disease incidents, and other things are less during winter if you grow them in winter. If you grow them in summer, because we see in the market the cauliflower throughout the year, cabbage throughout the year, how it is possible? So they are growing in off seasons, and they are protecting every other day, every third day cabbage is sprayed, cauliflower is sprayed. So absolutely, they have to spray lots of hormones, plant tonics. So otherwise, you will not get during summer. Not correct. Otherwise, you have to go for the polyhouse cultivation and other things where the temperature and humidity is controlled. That is possible. I'm telling you about the open pit situation. See our terraces. So during rainy season, if you can avoid these crops which are winter crops, think of it. Summer, see, especially gourds, your bitter gourd, ridge gourd, the ash gourd, sweet pumpkins, they are by nature summer crops. During rainy season, that many of us are growing, but during rainy season, there will be more of diseases on these plants. So you have to keep spraying. So if you don't want to spray, just by giving the good quality enriched compost and other things that the plants come up with, then by nature, they are, many of them are summer crops. So after January. So that I have tried to put based on our experience as agriculture scientists or as farmers. Probably when I share this PPT with all of you, you can understand, or you also you will get to read in many places that the calendar of planting of different vegetables. See there are about 50 vegetables are there in this list. So based on certain criteria, they are all their performance, that it is uh, divided into different seasons. Now coming to gardening tools. See, let me put it very strongly that our hands are the best tools in gardening. So as long as that you can use your hands, so your garden will be very good. So don't worry. See, using gloves and other things that you can think of it. But so if you are practicing home composting, if you are getting the compost from known sources and other things, so if you have kept it for some time, so nothing happens as such. So whether farmers every day, see, you have seen during this COVID time, they are not even using masks. Where are the gloves? So whether they are not growing. So somewhere somehow we have some misconceptions that if I'm using bare hand, probably I will be infected. I will probably get. We'll wash hands nicely. There are so many natural hand washes are available today. So all those things are there. But of course, that is finally your choice. That see, I have put some of these pictures like this. There are many. See the cultivators that just to disturb the topsoil, so that it is always kept loose. We are growing plants in containers. So containers, see, from all the sides that it is covered, only from the top the roots should get oxygen or the aeration. So if it is very hard, then air movement will be disturbed. So you have to keep disturbing. Of course, we try to understand. See, our media will not be that hard. So if we are using only soil, sometimes it becomes
Sir, no audio, sir.
Ma'am, I think his connection is lost. Let's see.
I think he will come back.
Ma'am, I think he is yet to join. No, he has logged out.
Yes, I think. Kindly, wait. Sir will join. Some connectivity issue. He will be coming in another 2 minutes. Back in 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Sapna, tell me. Yes. Yeah. Participants, we will be posting a form in the chat box. You can fill it and send it back. Okay. Meanwhile, till sir comes back.
Sir has joined. Wait.
Sir has joined. Anyhow, just look into the chat box.
Sir, you can talk, sir.
You,
Sir, unmute.
yes,
sir.
thank you. I think there was some problem. Okay,
Yes, sir,
no
yes.
problem.
No issue.
So I was telling, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
See, I was telling about the gardening implements quickly. So we lost 3-4 minutes. I think there was some problem. See, all these implements, they are very, very simple implements. So sometimes that we use, I don't know whether you need it or not. This is a weeder. So just to remove, so we can slowly pull out and throw it. But if you want to use this kind of weeders or this kind of maybe trowel or shovel, so just for mixing the compost, the soil and other things, you mix with hands also. But these are all if required. But generally, uh, even the water can not required. Hose pipe not required. So if you have the hose pipe, probably you will stand in one corner and try to put water to whole of the terrace, probably wasting water and probably wetting all the surfaces of the terrace and other things. So it is better to go with a bucket and mug, and you see each and every plant every day. Especially we say as probably scientists talk to each and every plant every day. So if required, put water. If not required, don't put. So that way, but this is required. This cicature, one cicature is required. So especially for cutting, there are some plants you have to keep pruning, like maybe your curry leaf, drumstick, or maybe other flower plants like hibiscus, roses, and jasmine. So there is lots of, especially students, please understand there is lots of difference between cutting and breaking. So you should not be breaking a curry leaf plant. You should be cutting it. So breaking is injury. So you should not injure a curry leaf plant or a drumstick plant. You just cut it, prune it, so that it spreads, produce new shoots, and probably it enjoys that kind of cut, because it's a wide plant. More you cut, more you get. So that way, so think of using some of these implements. If you get into any horticulture shop today, so you will get such many of these implements. Think what is required. So if you think that yes, I want this, get it. Not a problem. But what I am trying to tell in simple words is these are all very simple implements. Not like farmers, where pickaxe, the spade, crowbar, heavy instruments. Those things are not there in urban gardening. Very simple. So whatever you want, that you can think of getting it. Then coming to very important topic that we are getting into, container gardening. So what type of containers? So I have put some of these pictures before. I have containers around. I will show you. But tomorrow morning, some of you, if you are not practicing gardening, and if you want to practice garden, or maybe take a project that how can we upcycle some of the waste materials in our houses for gardening purposes. You have broken cans, broken buckets, maybe your 5 liter or 5 kg wheat flour bags, milk packets, rice bags. So some of all these things, container is not an issue. What goes inside the container is the issue. So that is where the issue is, that we have to give good growing medium, that we try to understand. But so many containers that you have in your house. So if you want to practice tomorrow, not necessarily that you have to go to a nursery or a horticulture shop to get containers. So many things, maybe broken buckets. Can we use it once before throwing? That is also the principle. So that way, so just imagine that yesterday you have celebrated your birthday, bought maybe 2 liters some maja or any other soft drinks. So that plastic bottle, what will you do? You try to throw it. So if there is a possibility that you can avoid plastic, say no to plastic. Those things that we know, that probably if I have time, that I will try to explain. But otherwise, see, what will you do with that bottle? Think of using it. So if you keep it vertically, that you can grow radish in this, because radish needs little more space. If you keep it horizontally, you can grow onion in this, especially for spring onion or many other leafy vegetables, where the requirement is 3-4 inches. So that way, look at that. How can we upcycle? How can we use the materials, whatever we have in our houses, that we are not going to throw it sometimes? Or of course, today the dry correction centers have come. Probably you can just go and put it there. But otherwise, think of using all these things. There are so many. I have tried to put this picture especially for children, that you can think that without spending too much on containers, whatever is available in our houses, that how can we start growing some of these crops. Otherwise, if you get into any horticulture shop or any nursery, the mud pots, rarely, that probably you may have to go to the outskirts of Bengaluru to get the mud pots. Generally, the people in the city, the nurseries and shops, they are not keeping the mud pots. They are good. The mud pots, that if you can organize, that mud pots are better compared to other type of containers, because it is natural. There is porosity and other things. Then the plastic pots have come. So many types of plastic pots, different type of plastic pots with more holes. See, you can see in the picture also. There are some pots with too many holes. That is not designed for gardening actually. That is designed for growing orchids. So if there are too many holes, that whatever, if you put water, it will go out. If you put nutrients, it will go out. That time you may have to put a mesh at the bottom, so that the compost and other things are at least hold for some time. Of course, in water it will go. So that way, otherwise there will be space for making holes. You have to make holes. It should have at least 2 or 4 holes. It is very important, the drain holes. There will be provisions. You may, if the hole is not made, that you may have to take it. The thermocol boxes, cement boxes. See, yesterday we have purchased one mixer grinder. So it has come in the box. And so if you want to use that thermocol box, very good, nothing happens. So you have to make few holes at the bottom, start using it. Coir pots have come. There are different type of coir pots. See, maybe different types. See, I have one plant also here. See, so you can be big size, 12 inches coir pots have come. Look nicely and highly degradable, very porous. See, from the root aeration comes from the sides also, at the bottom also, at the top also. So plants enjoy that kind of the coir pots. See this palak in coir pot. So it comes nicely. What is the problem? So only thing is, sometimes that we always say that I am orthodox, sir. I don't want to use plastic bags, plastic pots, or something like that. Then use the coir pots, highly degradable, small ones. If you grow one maybe cabbage or cauliflower in this, next time you need not remove this. You can put it directly in the bigger pot because it is degradable. So roots come out of this without any problem. So that way, it is something like jute bags or something. All these things. So I will show some pictures, but before that, let me just show. See, these kind of jute bags have come. Grow bags. So like this. So big ones are also there. See, if you want to grow maybe ridge gourd, bitter gourd, or something like that, that size I will explain. But see, different type of containers. There are even arrayable these kind of grow bags. See, I was telling you milk packet. So if you don't want to use milk packets, so these kind of grow bags have come. So especially UV protected, UV radiated. So they will be there for 4 or 5 years. Nothing happens. So many times, multiple times that you should use it. So these kind of grow bags and these kind of arrayable grow bags have come. See, as I was telling you that, see, from all the sides that it is covered, then the plants won't enjoy or do not enjoy. So these kind of grow bags have come with more of aeration from the sides. This will also come for maybe 5-6 crops. So you should think of getting different type of grow bags. All this I will show you once again with the pictures. See, I was telling you about the 2 liters or these plastic pots. Not to search for them. See, don't go to all the juice shops around and ask them that if you have some empty shops, empty bottles that I want. That is not the purpose. But of course, if you are doing a project that you can probably tomorrow I want to comparing different type of containers for growing radish. So if you want to take up that kind of project, so then probably you have to search and get it, all those things that is there. That is the research topic. But otherwise, so if we have that, we will use it. Otherwise, there are better options of containers. So it is not necessary that plastic, these kind of containers are not that good for growing all different type of crops. There are certain limitations. But what I am telling is, when you have brought, before throwing, can we use it for a purpose? Especially for children, just to give that bottle and tell them that we want to grow some crops. What are your suggestions? If they say, Amma, Papa, if I keep it vertically, we can grow radish. If I put it horizontally, we can grow some of these leafy vegetables. That itself is a good learning for them. That they have learned for different type of crops, the depth of sowing or depth of the container has to be different. So that itself is a practical learning for them. So think of using all those options for raising container gardening. So people can use directly on the terrace. So as I was telling you, say from last 10 years that we are in this house, sir, we only constructed and we have taken sufficient care for waterproofing and other things. So nothing happens, sir. Then you can put directly maybe a tarpaulin sheet and bricks on the sides, 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches depth, depending upon the type of crop that you want to grow. So you can put directly. The only problem is that once you remove that, there will be a black scar that will be always there. So water leakage will not be there, but we see, because there will be, it is not exposed to sunlight for a long time, and there will be a black scar. Especially if you have tiles and other things that you, on the terrace, that nothing happens. You can clean afterwards also. That depends on. No, sir, I don't want to put directly. Then the same thing, that on an iron frame. You have made an iron frame and you have just put at the bottom that you have given some support, from the sides also that you have put some support. Maybe the if you get into any the junk shop, that you will get all these wood pieces and other things from our baskets, fruit baskets and other things. So get that, put them on iron frame. Again, tarpaulin sheet you cover so that it will not be exposed to rainwater, it will not be exposed to your compost and water, and you will start getting sufficient space for growing vegetables like this. See, this also I suggest, especially, of course, today maybe there are more girls there, but you can also learn. So you will learn when you go to an shop. So you will start thinking, you will start asking that the what is the size that you need, how much per kg. So interacting, see, working with people, very, very important. So we are not giving that opportunity. So the project involves that also. So go and talk to them, get something, cut it, nail it, depending upon the size that you want, put the tarpaulin sheet, put the compost, and start growing. That itself is a learning. They don't expect anything from the container or from the vegetable crop. So you have learned so much talking to people, getting the materials, so cutting it, nailing it. So we see these skills. That is what is that we are all telling today. The skill India. Youngsters have to learn. Come out with these things. Learn these things. Tomorrow, if you want to tell somebody that I want this kind of box, unless and until you know that, how can you tell him? I have cut it. I know, boss, that you do like this. So you should tell to somebody, maybe a carpenter or a welder or a plumber. So unless and until you do it, so you will not be doing all these things. So tomorrow, just imagine that you set up an urban gardening entrepreneurship. So you should be knowing all those basics. So that is very important. So this gardening, don't think that it is I am trying to grow food. I am trying to learn in the small spaces. The grow bags I showed, the jute bags I showed. There are different types, from especially from Northeast and other things where jute is cheap. For them, jute bags may be more practical than a plastic bag. So they want to make it maybe cheaper. So that way, see, the size varies. That I will come back to that. But the type of containers I am telling, that you have plenty options. See, this kind of grow bags, make the iron frame and put the bigger size grow bags. It is almost like growing in the field. So wider space, and there is no limitation. The roots can go maybe this side 3 feet, this side 3 feet, if it is the type of plant I'm telling. So depth 2 feet is there sufficient. So it may be about 50-60 kgs. One person may not be in a position to lift it. You may have to use 2-3 people, but they're all fine. But think of this kind of grow bags, that whatever you want on the terrace. So this is, if you don't want to use the iron stands, this is made of just PVC pipes. Do it yourself. The DIY type only. So that way, that you have to look at that what type of containers that I can use. The bamboo baskets. So I am from Northeast, or where bamboo is cheaper. Bangalore may be costly. I'm not telling that all these things, but somehow a bamboo basket has come to your house. So can I use this? You can use this. If you want to have a plastic liner inside, think of it. Otherwise, not required. So anyway, I am throwing this. Why should I use a plastic liner? I will put compost and other things. After 3 months, after 6 months, that it will get over. That I will just probably make it powder and put it back in the compost bin. No problem. The paint buckets, very hardy, very handy. So if you get maybe an 20 liters paint bucket, it can be there for 3-4 years, 4-5 years. Nothing happens. You think that you are spending 125 rupees today. So you, even in the second hand care market that the cost of the paint bucket is high because of many people are purchasing. So maybe 100 rupees, 125 rupees. So if you go use this paint bucket for growing some crops for 10 times, or a perennial plant for 5 years, a curry leaf plant, a hibiscus plant, a rose plant. So the cost is not high. So that way, think of using containers. See, as I am repeating, container is not an issue. You have plenty containers. Think of putting something which is very good for growing plants. That is the what goes inside is the important thing that we will discuss. See, this water storing cans. So if you cut them vertically, you have two containers. So if you don't want to use directly, put directly on the terrace, put two bricks or maybe screw two wooden planks and put on that. So you are not directly putting, so there is no issues. So that way, think of, see, otherwise, so that also available in many second-hand shops. But if you want to purchase new one also available. So I want to set up very nicely, sir, where the new ones are available. Go and purchase. Maybe you may have to spend some 3, 4, 5,000 rupees for this purpose. But one-time investment, they will be there for years. Nothing happens. So that way, so many types of containers, of course. Apart from that, what I showed, that if you get into Google, hundreds of types of containers that you see. Only thing is, it is adjustment. So this is just so like that. These boxes, there are, see, if you go to Quantum Leaf, Krishna Kumar, so he has his own way of setting up the garden. So he sets up with automated water absorption system and other things, or maybe motors. So if you are ready to spend, there are people who can come and set it up. See, Happy Gardens, so they have the leased model, so or rental model. So if you just talk to them and probably decide on taking their help, their model is that they will bring the boxes and put it on your terrace, and they will tell you per square feet, this is the rent per month. So they will take every care. The compost is theirs, the box is theirs. So your role is only to water and harvest. Every week that probably they will come and visit, take up some, give some nutrients and take up some sprays. And if you say, no, not necessarily every month that you have to come, probably once in a while, whenever I call you come. So then the cost will come down. So depending upon the models that you have to think. What I'm trying to show is the container. So this you can also make, not necessarily that you have to go and search for them. So that anyway, that is there. So this kind of very good wooden boxes. If your pockets are very deep, if you have resources to spend, so then there are people who can bring in good quality, very attractive, beautiful the garden boxes, and they can just come and set up for you. So these kind of boxes, the My Dream Garden fellow says it magic planters, maybe costly, but look at the practicality. See, I have an elderly parents, and they cannot bend too much. So they have a limitation. So they cannot sit on the floor or do some activities. I want at 2 feet height, 3 feet height, 4 feet height. So get into care market, talk to the person who are dealing with all these nuts and bolts and the structure. They said they are just stands. So you can create. What is the problem? If you do not have that patience, and if you want to see this tomorrow morning, no problem. That probably you can just call them and ask them that they will bring and put it all these things. For 5, 6, 7 years, nothing happens. So today you think that it is 5,000 rupees. So just imagine that 5,000 rupees for 5 years or 6 years. So your investment on a container is about 500 rupees. And you are growing this, using this continuously for growing at least 3, 4 crops in a year. Or if it is a leafy vegetable, at least 8, 10 crops in a year. So that way, look at that. How can we get different type of containers for our activity? See this container. So if you are constructing a new house, tell your contractor, tell your supervisor, or tell your engineer that I want to have space for my garden on my terrace. So they know better than us. So they may suggest, we may have to put little thicker concrete. Fine, no problem. At the time of construction, so somehow it will go. They may say, no, we may have to put some extra pillar. Fine, no problem. So a little bit of slopey conditions. So they know better. So suggest them during that time. If you are constructing a new house, see like that. See this container. I just try to put. This is a 2,500 square feet container. This is the field on the terrace. Not there are no plastic pots, there are no mud pots, there are no cement pots. It is directly, see all the sites that it is contained. So that way that I am putting it as a container. You will not believe 25,000 kgs, 25 tons in 2,500 square feet. So that way that if you think that weight is a big issue, so 2,500 square feet, 25 tons, we only have put. See at the bottom that we have put this geo sheet, and you can just make out in the corners. And above that we have put maybe big stones for maintaining the drainage. Then about 18 inches of growing media, mix of growing media. We will discuss on that. So that way think that, see, if I have asked him, I had asked him, Mr. Guru Prasad, sir, don't you think that it will be heavy on your terrace? What you are telling that, Dr. Rajendra, you are a scientist. I know how much weight that my house can sustain. It is my house. Why you are worrying? You go and put it up. What I need is a field on my terrace. No, your container gardening and other things not required for me. I have elderly parents and in-laws. So they are born and brought up in villages and they have fields. If they come here and if they go to the terrace on a daily basis, that they should wash their legs and come inside. That's what he said. He has created lift up to the third floor terrace. And for them, it is going there and spending some time in the garden. See this, that now they have put even the sprinklers, small 2 feet, the water supplying sprinklers that they have put. See, weight is there directly. So if you start thinking that it will leak, so that's what he said. It is my house. I know that how much weight it can sustain, how much waterproofing that I have done. You need not worry. You just put it. We want to use this space for growing some plants, and we want to just create this space for our parents. So that is somewhere, somehow, that you have to think that how can we create this kind of container gardening. Then coming back to more practical situations. See, many of us staying in apartments and other things, we don't have space, terrace space. If it is there, yesterday also I was telling you, if it is there, we are not allowed there. It will be allowed only after 15-20 years when we don't have anything to eat. Or people may come out with innovations. But at this moment, so if we have light, you can use the balcony, the vertical spaces, that whether it is east facing is always good, but west facing, east facing, north facing, we will evaluate that what kind of crops will come up nicely in this kind of situation. See, you can use this space for maybe hanging some of these containers. See this. So you can hang. So if there is a grill or maybe a wire or something like that, see, from our balcony only. So you without any problem. See, instead that I have put a coir pot. So otherwise we are fine with it. So that way, see, these kind of hangers that you can put. Growing pudina, what is the problem? That you can hang. So we have drawn in thin line wire, and in that wire that we are just hanging this containers. We have 2 pudina plants, sufficient for us. So not a problem. See, wherever possible. See, this kind of pots for growing coriander. We are almost self-sufficient with coriander. We are not purchasing coriander. So that way, See, even as I just showed you, see this, the hanger, the stand. Some of these pictures that I will show you. See, this is from, only thing is that if you want to harvest, see this, let us say that this will give you only one bundle. You have to keep planting every week, one pot. So every week that you will get one bundle of palak after 30 days. Continuous planting. So that's an activity. So that is just an issue of planning. So like that, there are, we have space. Space is not a constraint yet. See, these are all from our houses only. Our house only. All these the crops, norcol, the palak. So we have this bigger hanger as well to put brinjal, tomato. So I did not bring the plant, so little heavy. So but we have put it in this hanger only. We have, that is the space that what we have. This is what we have chosen to live in Bangalore. So you can fix to the sun facing wall inside, not the common wall, I am telling. So your balcony and other things, if it is getting about 1 hour or 2 hours of light, so you can just put it. You have to think of using the vertical space wherever possible. That these kind of hangers, not necessarily that you have to purchase. If you go to an shouldering shop and suggest him that he will make a simple good quality hangers, you can bring and fix it. But otherwise, simple thing is that to purchase without spending too much of time. It may cost you, if you are going and working with a welder, if it cost you 100 rupees, this may cost you 120, 130 rupees. And long time. So you should look at all these type of containers and you should do it. See, other side of the balcony, if inside, see, if you have a grill, so we also hang on the other side. So you may have to create maybe some kind of frame where you can keep your containers and start growing. You may have to keep the net and other things. Pigeons are the severe problem in Bangalore and in other cities as well. So you may have to protect from birds. That is fine. But see, you can hang different type of containers today. The hangers today. In that hangers, that you can keep the pots. So that way, the vertical gardening types. See, simple. The your rice bag, your tarpaulin sheet. So they are cut and just hang it to the balcony grills, and you can grow lettuce, palak, coriander, not tomato. Tomato, brinjal, and other things won't come. So think of growing only this. So I have a limitation. I cannot grow everything, sir. I am interested, but I am growing in balcony. I have only balcony. I have 50 square feet, 100 square feet balcony. What can be grown? Think of it that there are many crops that you can plant to grow. See, these kind of stands have come. At least one time that there will be about 54 plants, and this container, the one that red one, the first one, it is a composting as well. So in the center there is one pipe with holes, so where you can do composting, and in the sides that you can do plant grow crop plants, so that the nutrients the plants can absorb from the pipe as well. So composter come gardening, vertical gardening type of container. Many innovations have come. So only thing is that you have to just talk to them and probably get that and put that in your garden. You will enjoy that process. So that way, some of these pictures, just by seeing that, you can have many of them are these pictures and other things from the people who are supplying, but many of them are online pictures only. You can also go and see, but just see that just putting a pipe and put the seeds in a vertical manner, that you can harvest so many type of leafy vegetables. Not all. I am not trying to hang you a tomato plant and other things that can be only for pictures, may not be practical. But these kind of leafy vegetables and other things which will be harvested in 30 days time. So you're not keeping for long time. And this kind of stands Many vertical stands. See, I'm in a balcony. I want to use some of this space. I have a small space, but I want to use this vertical, this one. So this kind of frames that where you can hang the containers. So that way, many of these ideas have already come. The only thing is that you have to make little bit of change in your mindset that it is doable. I can grow. So that has to come in our system. So this kind of stands, if you don't want to put directly on the terrace floor, so use this kind of stands. Two steps, 3 steps stands have come. So people are using it. So if you want to create some kind of sitting place, some kind of greenhouse, net house and other things, it is left to you. As I was telling you, plants don't demand. But if you want to think that I want to just make some more creative things, that see this, all the online pictures only, but we can all do it. So that way, see, vertical spaces that we can always use this, especially the balconies, the stands that you can use this, the wheat grass that you can grow in your balcony. Today, many nutritionists, especially today, you are all targets the home science students. So if somebody asks you that what is the use of wheat grass and other things, that you can easily tell. And growing is also very easy. So in balcony with little bit of light, so not dark. So you have to grow. You can grow in maybe 4 inches, 6 inches trays. Of course, that many of you know. Just for the information that I'm just putting it, because you are the home science and the experts there. Many of these crops, the palak, coriander, methi, see sunflower, safflower, the green gram, black gram, even tomato. Uh, many of these crops can be grown in the balconies with limited light, and the expectation is only microgreens. I want to harvest when I see the true leaves and use it maybe 10 days, 12 days, 15 days maximum. No spraying, only harvesting. So maybe you have to be little more patient to keep planting. That is the only issue. Otherwise, the technique is very simple. So you have to differentiate somewhere that, and many of us know that how to make the sprouts at home. The next stage of sprout is microgreens. So that is the only difference. See, it is not sprout. It is the next stage. Probably sprouting happens in 3-4 days time or 2-3 days time. So we want to take this to the next stage, maybe 10 days, where the true leaves come. We want to just cut it, or you can pull it along with roots also, that you can use. Nothing happens. You have to wash it and use it. That's all. So that way, growing microgreens at least. See, I have a small space. I want to do at least the microgreen project. Microgreens, I would see. Once you start growing microgreens, you will think of growing the other crops as well. So why I'm telling is that what is much easier. So which can encourage me to do more gardening. Microgreen is much easier. And the next is the leafy vegetable. Palak, much easy. Radish, much easy. So it will encourage you to grow other type of plants, do some other experiments, other trials. Should not take experiments. So that with trial and error, you will learn so much. And there is so much that, of course, you probably would have attended, or you will get to know in the next session. So that way, there is so much that you can work on microgreens, and you can use it, and you can grow it in a simple manner, in containers, in small spaces, whether it is in the balcony, whether it is in the terrace, or in the hall. So if you are, see, I am sitting next to the window. So plenty, especially from 3 to 5, we get sufficient light. We can hang some of these containers and grow microgreens. Possible. I can put one stand and grow microgreens. Possible. So that way, think that what we can do. That's right. That's what I'm trying to tell, that space is not a constraint. Container is not an issue. We should have different type of containers. So you can hang them. You can use the vertical spaces. Many of these things, just by seeing the picture, that you can understand and realize. Then coming to the preparation of containers, the growing medium. See, as I said, the container is not an issue, but what should go inside? That is very important. See, basically, it should get different type of compost. Maybe the coco peat, maybe animal component, maybe vermicompost, and the soil. All these things should be there in equal proportions, mix it well, and fill up maybe this. Just imagine that this is the container. Fill up 50% in the at the time of planting, whether you are dibbling, whether you are transplanting. So if it is leafy vegetable, probably you can fill up, because afterwards that you are not putting any soil there. But just imagine that you are growing beans, you are growing bendi, you are growing tomato. So fill up 50% of the container with this growing medium, and that remaining 50% of the space is there. That keep on adding a handful of compost every week, every 10 days, so that by the time that the plant is bearing flowers and fruits, your container should be full. So you need to, starting only, that you should not be completely filling the container. That's not correct. Fill up maybe 50-60%, keep some space, keep on adding. So that is what I am telling, that as critical stages, branching is a critical stage, flowering is a critical stage, ripening is a critical stage. During that time, that you should be supplying these kind of nutrients to the plants. So that way, very simple, as such, that you transplant. Probably I have a video, I would try to show that. Maybe it may take some time. I would just try to pull it out. See, I am trying to explain. I was told now whether the sound is heard there. No.
Very feeble, sir.
I think that is because of the it is coming from the YouTube.
Yes.
Let us just see the. I will just mute it. Let us just see this. This is for the leafy vegetables. I am trying to explain that how can we plant leafy vegetables in this one. That it is about 18 minutes. That I cannot take 18 minutes to run this complete video. But I will just try to show at least for one of these things. So you have to take the suitable container. The wider one is good for leafy vegetables. So you should have all the components mixed in that proportion. Maybe one portion of animal component, one portion of vermicompost, one portion of coco peat, one portion of soil. Mix that well and keep it. So for at the time of planting, and if you have mixed some extra is there, you can keep it in a bag, in a shaded place, so that whenever required, that you can keep adding. So that way. So mix well and put it in the container. So nicely level it, and think of take. See, now this is amaranth, small seed. So you cannot just put individually. It is not possible. But generally, what is suggested is that along with a spoon of amaranth seeds or the small seeds, because we are not experts. In some places it will be too thick. In some places it will be too thin planting. For that, to make it uniform planting, it is generally suggested one spoon of seed is mixed with 1 spoon of sand. But we don't have sand. But we can use the broken wheat rava, our idli rava, that we can mix with this, and you can consider that as sand. So mix well, so that there will be uniform distribution of seeds. So that is possible. That is even in the farmer's feed. That's the same thing that they do. One or half kg of amaranth seeds with half kg of sand, mix nicely and broadcast. So here also we are trying to do the same thing. So nicely broadcast on the surface, maybe 6 inches, 4 inches, see whatever type of seeds that you have. So then cover this with very thinly. If you cover with more of soil and other things, that it will not germinate. As I was telling you, there are very small seeds, less energy to push out. So that way, so think of slowly uh, putting little bit of very thin layer from the surface, just to compact it, and sprinkle water. So if the medium is already wet, probably one day you need not water. Otherwise, sprinkling slowly, putting water is very important. So immediately after planting, that you have to put water slowly. So if you have a water can, that you can use it, or if you have a mug, that you can just hold by hand, and that you can just cover the surface. So that way, that you can just put the water and keep it for maybe in shade for some time, maybe about for a week. Generally, that it will take about 6-7, depending upon the type of crop. Methi germinates in 4 days time. So coriander may take about 7-8 days time, depending upon the quality of seed. Generally, this happens. See this video, the image here, where to plant radish. So radish generally dibbled. So though it is a small seed, farmers broadcast. So at least in our case, that we will try to dibble in a systematic manner. It is quite big compared to your amaranth or any other type of leafy vegetable. It is quite handleable seed. So you can dibble the seeds, dibble in the growing medium, same growing medium, more of compost, less of soil. So then put 1 or 2 seeds in each cavity, each well. Same thing. See, probably cover this, mix with sprinkle water, and so it will come up without any issue. So like this. So this is the carrot. So carrot generally, so it is also a small seed, but and if you have to put only one seed, it is little difficult. But like that, like radish only, you also dibble and put 1 or 2 seeds. If both germinate, if you don't want, pull out one. You cannot transplant. It is very difficult for this radish and carrot to transplant, because the main root will be disturbed when you pull out. Or you can pull out with the bowl of soil. Then there should not be any problem. So all those things that you will learn as you start practicing this kind of crops. So now coming to other big seeds, maybe bendy or ridge gourd, bitter gourd, or something like that. So take a container, suitable container, that whatever you want, you just imagine. So at the bottom, so you have to support plants for the better drainage. At the bottom, that you can put maybe an broken pieces of the pot, or maybe a bigger gravels, or even coconut shell pieces, dry leaves. So all these things that you can put it at the bottom, so that the water percolates easily during rainy season. I am saying, see, during summer you may say that we have learned we are not putting too much of water. So we know how much water that my plant. During rainy season, that you don't have control. So at least for that purpose, at the bottom, that it is the preparation. It is the type of preparation of the pots. So put the gravels or anything at the bottom, maybe 1 centimeter, 1 inch. Then above that, you put the growing medium as it is. See, so we are not even mixing sand here. See, sometimes in the black cotton soil like Hubli, Dharwad, Vijaypur, so you may have to get black soil, that is clay soil. In Bangalore, it is loamy soil. So, and we are using more of compost, less of soil. Sand is not a must. Here also, that you can just dibble the seeds directly, whether it is bendy, whether it is ridge gourd, whether it is bitter gourd. They are quite big seeds. So for that purpose, that you can just dibble some of these seeds. Oh, so whether it is the beans, just take the beans and just push it. bottle gourd. So sorekai. So just push it, because they are quite big seeds. They are not like amaranth. So at least you should just put at least 0.5 centimeter or little more. Just put it like this. Say some of these materials are planted with stem cuttings, like the Indian spinach, or any other flowering plants like hibiscus and other things, stem cuttings. So same things, the same type of growing medium, same containers. You have to cut suitable the cuttings, and you can just plant it. Especially vegetables like the spinach and other things can be used with stem cuttings. Sometimes even stems like rhizomes, like our ginger, turmeric. So prepare the growing medium like this and just put it. So that way, see, especially some of you, if you want to learn more, that you can just see the video once again. It is with on YouTube with Bricks Bio, that you can just see. The other one, the transplanting, just quickly, I will just try to show this. See, as I was telling you, the seedling. So in the 3 weeks time, or maybe 25 days time, that it will easily come out of your tray with a proper root cup. So you can just use this for transplanting. Take any of your container of your choice, whether it is a grow bag or a pot or an gunny bag. That is left to you. Now we have discussed that. So for generally for the I will come back to that. See, different type of crop that you need different type of grow bags. Quickly, I will just show you. Just see this video quickly. Put the growing medium there. The we have to make as per the preparation of the pots and fill up, and put one at the center. See, 1 square feet of space or 1 cubic feet of the container can hold one seedling of this kind of bushy vegetables. So that you have to just put one at the center. Immediately after transplanting, put some water, and it will grow. So like this, that it will grow, and so you will get maybe in about 30 days time. As I was telling you, you will have some space. Keep adding little bit of handful of compost every time. So that way that your plants will come. Maybe tomato. So similarly, see, same type of transplanting procedures in the type of container that you want to grow. Maybe basil, any other type of plant that what you want to grow, maybe lettuce. So they're all transplanted generally. So like that. So the planting methods are there for different type of. There are some plants which are amenable for direct planting. There are some plants which are amenable for transplanting. There are some are planted with stem cuttings. There are some probably roots, rhizomes. There are some with mature. This one, sime badnekai, for example. So we will use the mature fruit whenever we go to the market. If it is just germinating, we bring that and plant it. That's all. That is the planting material. So that way, so students, that you will get this presentation and you will learn. You can just read through that which are all the plants for different type of plantings. Then coming to quickly, I'll move quickly now. So which are all the crops that can be grown in containers? So with many pictures, probably you would have already realized that these are all the crops. But tomato, very good container candidate. And tomato is there in our food system for a long time. We need at least half kg to 1 kg of tomato every week, and easy plant. So don't leave. See, if somebody asks me, so what are the crops that I can grow? I say first tomato, because tomato we need, we use. See, all of us like tomato. Maybe natty tomato or hybrid tomato, that's a different issue. But that way, see, tomato is an easy crop for growing this kind of bush vegetables. What you need is this 12 inches container. this 12 inches container or 10 inches. Minimum 10-12 inches container is required. And between plant to plant, there should be at least 1 feet space. 1 feet space. So that means this container can have only one plant. So there is one picture here. There are two plants because it's a wider container. So you can have 2 plants maximum. See, farmers are living 3 feet, 4 feet. We don't have that much of space. So we have limitations. So like that, chili, brinjal, bush beans, cabbage, cauliflower, brinjal. So all these things are bushy plants. You need minimum of 1 feet container, 1 cubic feet, 1 feet, 1 feet, 1 feet. So that kind of container is very good for many of the bushy vegetables. Minimum I am telling. So I have 2 feet container. Can I grow tomato? It comes up very well. So that way, see cabbage, cauliflower, bushy plants. So one container, you will have a small head. We may not be big. This is a different type of adjustment where it is a bigger container, 3x6 containers. So that time that you will get a bigger head also. What you give, what you get. So it's a small container. So like this, see the vine vegetables that you need still bigger containers, the last big ones. So it is about 1.5 feet, 1.5 feet, 1.5 feet. 4.5 cubic feet containers are required for, because they are the climbing types. They will be there in the soil for a long time, about 150, 180 days time. So they need more nutrients. So some nice rooting space. So for that, you need the bigger containers. For all the vine vegetables, what we need is 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 containers. See, maybe all your creeper beans, maybe your padurkai, snake god, or cucumbers. So what you need is a bigger container. And this picture that you can just realize, you can make out that they are climbers. You have to support. If it is not there, you have to create. By nature, they are climbers. They have to climb. And there are some crawlers, the pumpkins, ash gourds, watermelons. So you have to create that system that they can just crawl on the surface. So that itself, of course, this picture can I can talk on for 1 hour on this picture. So it is a very good project site for children to learn that how a mother can sustain the weight of the children. So that way there is so much that we can learn. So this picture that you can just make out, that it has to be trained to the corner so that it crawls nicely without disturbing. So this is, I am repeating, see, my target is children. We always tell somehow to all the parents that you bring in children in this gardening process. Let them learn in the whole process. So that is very important. And leafy vegetables, what you need is 6 inches beds. So small containers, small containers. This is more than sufficient. So this container is more than sufficient to grow coriander. So you may need 5-6 plants every day. No problem. You pull out and use it for 3-4 days, maybe 1 week. Then again plant it, disturb and add new compost and other things. That is always there. So depending upon the nutrient, depending upon the type of plant. So pudina, I was showing you pudina. See, this is more than sufficient. So that way, so you have to look at that. How can we plan? A 6 inches bed is very good. So you can use the grow bags anyway. So these kind of containers, that every container will have one bundle of crop. So this I was showing you this drum and other things that you can use for growing leafy vegetables. The onion, radish, carrot, potato, beetroot. So what you need is about 15 inches containers. Then the perennial types, banana and other things. What you need is 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. All other things remain the same. The growing medium and other things remain the same. More compost, less soil. But you need the larger volumes, maybe 100 liters, 150 liters, 75 liters, sometimes, that depending upon see these pictures. See, the papaya I want to grow. you need at least 4 feet container is very good, because otherwise with simple wind that it will fall down and it will be there for a long time. So 4 feet container can be about 60, 65, 70 kgs. That you should look at whether my terrace has that ability. See, I have put a beam. I have put the pillar. See, above that pillar we can keep it, sir. It can sustain thousands of kgs. So then keep it. So that decision, that's what I try to put all these pictures so that you can decide that what I can grow, what I can't grow. That decision has to come from your end. See, drumstick, 2 by 2 by 2 simple container can be used for growing drumsticks. See, sapota, about 75-100 liters container can be grown. You will be harvesting only 100 fruits. Fine for it. Happy with it. The pomegranate that you can grow in containers. Guava you can grow. The jackfruit people have grown. So today the grafts are available. If you are getting one fruit, be happy with that. So that way, so all crops, many crops can be grown in containers. There are people, if you specifically ask me what can't be grown, I suggest coconut, because it grows tall and you cannot prune it. See, some of these crops, that what I showed, that if it is growing too tall, you can prune it so that it grows as a bushy plant. Coconut, you cannot prune it. So that way, so it is not suggested, but I think I forgot. Tomorrow I will show. The people have grown coconut in containers. They are passionate. They just want to show that it is possible to grow coconut on the terrace. So that way, so you decide that what kind of crops. I just try to show about 50 types of plants today, and medicinal plants. They themselves are 50 types. There are see pudina. We just discussed the borage or the dodpatre, basil, neem. The only thing is they are not ornamental plants. Lemongrass, for example. So if you are growing, you should use it. So you should try to learn that how can we use the medicinal plants, especially now the COVID time, that you can grow so many types of medicinal plants and you can make kashaya and use it, and it is people say that it can build immunity and other things. I don't know, but we should use it. They have their own properties. So something like this. Ma'am, today it is already 11:23. I need another 10 minutes. Can I take, or should I continue tomorrow?
Can we, what is the next you will be talking
So
on,
this
sir?
is the terrace garden design and the plant protection tomorrow.
Plant protection we will have tomorrow, sir.
So I will use another 5 minutes. Let me just.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah. So just imagine that you have this terrace. Depending upon, say, 30-40 site, let us take an example that I have about 800 square feet of terrace space. In the center, that we will have, see, there is no support of pillar, there is no support of beam or something like that. In the center, that we will use only the lighter containers like bushy vegetables and leafy vegetables. See, one single one is this weighs maximum. Of course, this is just for 5 kgs, but maximum 8 kgs, 10 kgs. Let me just say. So each square meter can have 2 plants or 4 plants. So 40 kgs, not more than that. So that I will use the lighter containers in the center. But some of these bigger containers, maybe if you are growing ridge gourd, bitter gourd and other things, they are 25 kgs, let us say, because they are quite big. So then you can use in the corner where there is the wall support, where there is pillar support, where there is beam support. So nothing happens. So that way, lighter containers in the center, heavy containers in the corner. So that is the one principle of designing the terrace garden in a simple manner. But sometimes there are some crops which need more light. So if there is a provision, the ones which need more light have to be on the north side. Ones which need less light on the south side. For example, leafy vegetables. So there the light requirement is little less. That this point that I will take up tomorrow in when we discuss on plant protection, on plant care. So light requirement is less with the leafy vegetables. So you can put it on the southern side. On the northern side, all those crops where the expectation is fruit. So that way, if it is possible, otherwise over this a small space, there is no north, south, east, west. So it will come, no problem. But if there is an opportunity, if you can design in that manner, so put the ones where the expectation is fruit on the north side, fruit where the expectation is leaf on the south side. So that way, that somewhere somehow that you can design. Along with that, trap crops are the flower plants. Your marigold is a trap plant. See, somewhere somehow, if you have to have marigold in your garden, here and there, wherever. I just put it as a picture, but wherever there is space, that there is a small space that you can just put one this one, or you can hang somewhere. So you think marigold attracts insects, protects your plant. So trap crop it is called. The chrysanthemum is a trap crop. Mustard is a trap crop. Bendy is a trap crop. So something like this, or many flower plants. Rose is a trap plant. Hibiscus is a trap plant. So somewhere somehow, anyway, you need some flowers for your puja and other things also. Along with vegetables, think of putting some flower plants as well, which are generally trap plants. So that way, so mix of 10 types of plants. So here also that you can make out about 25. No, not that. My suggestion is that we should plant those 10 types which all of us like in our house. So if somebody is not liking, they don't grow. Straightforward. No, sir, we don't want to grow brinjal. We don't want to grow ivy gourd. So that decision that you should take and think of growing that continuous basis. So that way, see this picture. All the lighter containers in the center or the bushy plants in the center, the heavy or the perennial types, they will be there for a long time. Once you have put, probably every time that you are just putting the compost and you are not just disturbing on every day or every week, every month. So they will be there for 4-5 years. That in the corner. That is very simple manner. See these pictures. These are all from my office terrace house. Anyway, we are in Trishanku Swarga, the flat. There is no terrace. There is no ground. So this, so where you can just put. See, you can just make out the lighter containers, the small containers in the center, the big ones at the corners. See this picture. So you can just make out about 150, 160 types of plants in a small space of about 2,000 square feet. So that way, and they were self-sufficient. They were growing about 70 to 80% of their vegetable requirements from the terrace. So that way, look at that kind of situations. So anyway, these are the spaces that you have to plant the terrace gardens. So when you see the Bricks Bio on YouTube, so you see that designing the terrace garden. I have just tried to put 1 or 2 videos of the terrace garden so that you can easily make out. Perhaps if somebody is having the kitchen garden space, the ground space. So the other day we were discussing, if we have ground space also, we have tied it. We are going for container gardening. Then the same thing. So whether it is in the terrace or the ground, that you are using the same type of container. But if you can plant in the ground, here also you have to make containers. You have to make partitions. You have to make divisions so that you can plant nice. Otherwise, the same principle of growing plants in the terrace. So you have to disturb the topsoil. So like containers, and add compost, plant. So whether you are broadcasting, whether you are nibbling, whether you are transplanting, the same principle. So lawn. So in the lawn, that if you want to have some raised beds like this, that you can just in the center, that you can create one raised bed. So that is a container gardening. So at the bottom, only thing is root growth. There is no limitation from the sides that it is contained. So that way, see, the principles of growing plants won't change. See, other day somebody was asking me, sir, what is the difference between kitchen gardening and terrace gardening? I said the terrace gardening is for people who are not having the kitchen garden space. It is just taking the kitchen garden and putting on the terrace. It is the only difference. Otherwise, there is no much difference in terms of growing plants. See, like this, people have put the cement blocks in that small spaces, or the tiles, and have started going. The people have come out with this kind of community garden approach as well. So there, I think I am stopping here for today's discussion. If there is any provision, we can take some specific questions if the time is not a constraint. Otherwise, we will take up tomorrow. or just send me by mail or something like that so that I can answer to all the questions. Thank you so much for today's session, madam.
Thank you, sir. It was very, very informative. Can I have one question, sir?
Yes, madam.
Yes. Sir, what is the proportion of the soil mix, sir? I mean,
No, that is in the growing medium that we should have 3 portion of compost and 1 portion of soil. So that 3 portion of compost that we have divided, 1 part as animal component, 1 part as vermicompost, 1 part as coco peat, and 1 part as soil now. So 1:1:1:1. One part as the animal component or animal manure, cow manure, goat manure, horse manure, whatever may be the case. 1 portion vermicompost, 1 portion coco peat or leaf powder, or 1 portion soil. So this is the best medium as far as that our practical experience goes. In between, of course, along with this, that you can add maybe a little bit of neem cake, honge cake, mustard cake. So you can always add all these things, but basic media is 1:1:1:1. That is the best medium.
we can add neem powder also, no, sir? Little bit of
Neem
neem
cake
powder.
powder, neem seed powder, whatever you have. But their requirement is very small quantity. For 1 kg, what you need is 50 grams, not more than that.
Okay. Okay. And one more question, sir. Is that now it is rainy season in Bangalore. I mean, not too much of rains we are having. So, if we keep the plants in the terrace, sir, the water will maybe too much for the plants.
So
How?
your preparation of container has to be so nicely that
Yes.
this point that I will discuss tomorrow when it comes
Yes.
to the plant care. But even then, so you have to prepare your container so nicely that water will not stagnate in the container. See, it should easily percolate. It should not stagnate in the container. So that is, of course, with more of compost, less of soil, there cannot be stagnation at all. And if the drain hole is properly made and it is properly the pot preparation is properly done, water will percolate. Only thing is that along with water, nutrients are also washed.
Yes.
So that means during rainy season, you have to frequently applying the nutrients to the plants.
Nutrients means the compost we have to
Compost
add.
that you can add, or the liquid compost, liquid nutrients. So we will discuss some of these things tomorrow. Maybe banana peel extract or vegetable peel extract, that you can just, whenever you eat banana and any fruits or vegetables, make into small pieces and put it in a bucket with about 2 liters of water for 2-3 days. So whatever is there in these fruits, that it will come in water, dilute it maybe 10 times, put to all the plants. Very good nutrients. Coconut water is a very good nutrient. So Bokashi anaerobic composting method, that if you follow, you will get the liquid compost. Other
Even
than
the
that,
buttermilk,
Panchagavya.
buttermilk, buttermilk.
Buttermilk is not. It is an probably potential factor. So it will help in better quick degradation. And during that, because of that degradation, probably the nutrients are released to the plants. Buttermilk itself is not a nutrient. So it is a bacterial mix. Of course, little bit of calcium that it can supply. So when it is composted properly, but otherwise, basically, buttermilk is to encourage the degradation of organic matter quickly.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, I have some plants in my house, an apartment. So, how will you know whether the turmeric and all it is ready to harvest?
2 things. One is that probably as practitioners that you should do some homework, that what is the duration of the crop.
Okay.
See, take the example of turmeric. Turmeric is a crop of about 10 months. Ginger is a crop of about 10 months, 1 year.
Okay.
So basically, but you have planted, somehow you just want to know. See, especially urbanites, for example, ginger after 6 months that you can keep pulling out and using it. There should not be any problem. But if you want to have the matured ginger, that you should wait for at least 10 months. During that time, the leaves will start drying.
Okay.
So it will not be growing. See, they have already moved from vegetative stage to the reproductive stage, or to the next level. So if once the leaves start drying, So that is the situation where you have to think, because you have to take care. Even 1 month also, if you are not putting water, leaves will dry and you cannot say that it is matured. But at least after 8-9 months, when the leaf start drying with all your care, that is an indication that it is the rhizomes have matured.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Participants, you can unmute and ask questions if you have.
Can I stop sharing?
Yeah, stop sharing. Or you can put it in chat box also.
You can put it in chat box, or you can just send me a mail so that by tomorrow that I can answer those questions. Or I can probably suggest you that tomorrow the answer will be there for this question or something like that. So, but don't feel the students as well as parents. So this is an opportunity for us. So you can always ask questions, and the expectation is very high from our end that we expect all of you to start gardening tomorrow morning. So that way, if you have any doubts, let it be very basic. Don't worry about that. That you can surely ask.
Sir, can you leave your mail ID in the chat box, sir, so that even if they have,
Yes,
they can
yes,
post
yes.
it. Students, no questions, because it is going to be a project for you. So if you have any questions, you ask today, because you will be starting it from tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Parents, you can also ask questions. You can unmute and ask questions, because you are going to help them to do so. Mary Reggie madam is not unable to unmute. Lakshmi?
I will just check, ma'am. Wait.
Yeah. If there is anyone we are not able to unmute, no, please tell us, put it in chat box, post it. We will help you out.
Mary, ma'am, try now.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
yes,
can
yes,
hear
yes,
you.
yes.
Good morning, sir. Mary Reggie ma'am from Nutrition Department. So it was an excellent session, sir. It was so many practical tips that you had given. I have a simple question. I had planted a curry leaf in my balcony, just the protrusion of the balcony. I put all the compost which was accumulating in the daily. I do composting by daily dumps method, that 4-pot method.
Good.
So I put all the compost there, and whatever waste from my garden, I mean from my kitchen, I just go and dump it there. I don't do anything. Now I planted a small curry leaf plant, and it has grown very well that it supplies my daily needs. But what I see is it is really not growing big. It has just 4-5 stalks, that's it, but it produces a lot of leaves. Why is it not growing healthily, sir?
See, plant health is an factor, is the result of many issues. One, what I see is that don't dump too much. Too much is too bad.
Okay.
So there may be some problems for the root aeration, or to put it in simple manner is that new roots are not being formed.
Okay.
So if you want to put it, so disturb the topsoil nicely and make sure that all the roots are getting good roots. The new roots have to be formed. If the plant has to grow, means that it has to absorb. Absorption happens with only new roots.
Okay.
New roots are not being formed. My suggestion is to disturb the topsoil little bit. Next time, whenever you want to put it, compost and put it. So don't dump the undecomposed material, whether it is in the curry leaf or something. It is not like ground.
Okay.
So if you want to put it, then soak it in water for 2 days and put that water to the containers.
Okay.
So then the plants will get quickly and new roots can be formed. That should help.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, any more questions, please? Okay, you can reserve your questions for tomorrow if you don't have any questions for today. And also, sir has given his mail ID in the chat box. Kindly, you can write to sir so that he will come with an answer tomorrow, or he will answer to you. Apart from it, there is a form we have posted in the chat box. Kindly fill in that form also. Okay. So, sir, since there is no questions, we can call off for today, sir. And
Yes.
tomorrow we will log in by 9:30. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you,
Tomorrow
sir.
after 11:30 they have class.
Pardon, sir?
Student
Today?
tomorrow